A few weeks ago, I reacted to every single Premier League home shirt, so now it is time to react to all Premier League away shirts for the 25-26 season. Just like we did in the home shirt video, I'm going to be looking at each away shirt and I'm going to be giving them a star ranking out of 5, and I'm also going to be giving my opinion on if I'd buy the shirt or not. There was some pretty bad home shirts in that video if you do want to go check it out, and to be honest, I've just had a little skim through the away shirts and there's some bad ones in here as well, but there's also some very good ones, so let's just have a look. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the video with Arsenal. Now you can see here that Arsenal have gone for a very nice pattern actually. It kind of reminds me of, you know, the banana kind of shirt that Arsenal had, that's so historic. But the pattern on this shirt honestly is really nice. I like the colour, I like the cannon badge, and I think the grey sponsor and the Adidas logo works really well on it. Even the bottom of the sleeves is a little bit darker. I think that works really well. If we take a look at the back of the shirt is just as nice. You know, it's not one of those kits where teams just completely, you know, abandon the pattern and just do a plain back. Arsenal haven't done that here, and this is a very nice shirt. If we just take a look at the details on the front of the shirt, you've got the red stripes obviously, but that badge, it's so much better that it's printed on. We said this in the home shirt video, some badges need to be sewn on and some badges look better printed on, and this is a shirt where it definitely looks better the way it is. Overall, I think this shirt is very, very nice. Obviously, I don't wear other teams' shirts from England, but I would wear this shirt, and honestly, I'm going to give this shirt 5 stars. Moving on to Aston Villa, and I'm not going to lie, all biased aside, I'm just not a very big fan of this kit. The shirt itself is just very boring. You know, they've done a little bit of pattern on the sleeves, and honestly, I think it would have looked so much nicer if they just did the sleeve pattern for the whole shirt. It just looks very plain. The back of the shirt again is very plain. It's got villains at the top of the neck, which is, you know, a nice little touch. I like it when football teams do stuff like that. But again, it's just very, very plain. Honestly, there's not much to talk about when it comes to this kit. Even though I'm a Blues fan, like I said, biased aside, I wouldn't wear this shirt. I just don't think the sleeves and the shirt itself look good together. And I'm going to give this one 2 stars. Moving on to Bournemouth, and this is basically their home shirt, just flipped the colours, I guess, and, you know, made it the opposite of what their home shirt is. You've got the big white BJ88 sponsor in the middle, which just doesn't really look right on the shirt. Even the blue umbro and badge just doesn't look right on this shirt. It just, nothing looks right. Here we can have a look at how it looks like on a player, and honestly, I don't know, I'm not a fan of this shirt at all. If we take a look at the back of the shirt, this would be perfect. If there was no stripes on it and it was just this solid colour, I think this shirt would be so much nicer. Of course, you've got AFCB at the top of the collar, which we've gone over. It's a nice little touch. But overall, again, this shirt just isn't very nice. I don't like the stripes on it. I think it would be better if it was just a solid blue colour. I would not wear this shirt, and I'm going to give this shirt 2 stars. Moving on to Brentford, and honestly, this is one of the better Premier League away shirts this season. The colour and the pattern on it is just beautiful. I like the collar. You know, even the bottom of the sleeves, the little gold stripe, everything just makes sense working together on this shirt. You know, the gold and the brown goes very well. The badge looks absolutely unbelievable. The fact they've changed, you know, from the traditional badge to just to be on this shirt, it suits it so much more. Even the sponsor, although I really hate this sponsor, I think it's so ugly, I think it looks alright on this shirt. The back of the shirt, again, thank God, they've kept the pattern going. They've got bees at the top of the neck, and it just looks so nice. Honestly, I would 100% wear this shirt. You don't really see too many brown football kits anymore, so this is kind of nice to see, and I'm going to give this one 5 stars. Moving on to Brighton, and this might just be the worst one in the Premier League this season. First of all, everything is central, and you guys, if you've been watching me for a while now, you guys will know I'm not a fan of that at all. So yeah, I feel like the badge and the Nike tick has to be, you know, where it should be traditionally on a football shirt. I do not like the stripe down the middle. Honestly, if this football shirt was either the solid purple or the solid kind of lilac colour, it would be great. But the fact there's a stripe down the middle just ruins it. Like, for example, if you look on the sleeves, even if you had like the lilac and just kind of like the purple, you know, sleeves and collar, it would look nice. But the fact that they've done the stripe down the middle, it just doesn't look right at all. And this is exactly what I mean. If we take a look at the back of the shirt, how much nicer does this shirt look? If this was just the way it was, it would be perfect. So honestly, just because of the front, I would not buy this shirt. I think it's a really, really ugly shirt. Like I said, it could be one of the worst ones so far this season. And you know what? I'm actually going to give this one 1.5 stars. Moving on to Burnley, and they have released an absolute banger. Their home shirt was nice, but this one's even nicer. Everything about this shirt is perfect. I like the sponsor. I think the sponsor works really well. The badge just looks really nice. The Castore logo looks really nice. You know, the claret and white colours on the collar and the sleeves. Everything just fits in and just looks like it's meant to be there. However, when we get to the back of the shirt, it ruins it. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier on in the video. When teams do this, if you had the pattern on the front all over this shirt, this would be a 5-star shirt, but the back just looks so bad and boring without it. They've got BFC, which of course is Burnley Football Club, at the top of the neck, but I don't know, the back of the shirt just really ruins this one. If we look at the details, honestly, it looks really nice. I think the badge is perfect that it's sewn on. I don't think it would have looked good if it was printed on. But again, the back of the shirt just ruins this shirt. So honestly, the back is a deal breaker for me. I'm not going to wear this shirt just because of that. And I'm going to give it 3 stars. Moving on to Chelsea, and I'm not too sure about this one. The shirt itself is quite nice, but I'm personally not a fan of the stripes down the middle. I think the red and the green looks good on the sleeves. Honestly, you could have gone the red and green on the collar as well, but I don't think it suits the actual shirt being down the middle. The back of the shirt looks so much nicer. This is what I mean. If the front was like this as well, this would be a really nice shirt. I just don't really understand the stripes. The detailing on the actual shirt as well, you can see, you know, the pattern looks unbelievable. The material looks amazing, and the Chelsea badge is printed on, which really suits this shirt. You know, we've gone over this so many times. It wouldn't look right if it was sewn on. But yeah, honestly, this is a really nice shirt other than the stripes. It's not that bad. I don't think I'd wear it though, and I'll give it 3.5 stars. Moving on to Crystal Palace, and this one is actually kind of growing on me. When I first saw this shirt, all I could think about was mustard, but now that I've actually seen Palace playing it a couple of times, it's definitely grown on me. The collar, I think they've done the right thing by stopping the black lines just before it gets to the front of the collar, and on the sleeves it looks really well. The black kind of separation between the shoulders and the arms works. I think that looks good. The Macron sponsor, the Crystal Palace badge, and the Net 88 sponsor, everything looks fine on this shirt. If we just take a look at a few players wearing the shirt, again, it looks really, really good. It's definitely grown on me. If we take another close up, you can see the details on the shirt. That Crystal Palace badge looks so much nicer now that it's been printed on. It looks amazing. Overall, I would definitely buy this shirt. I think it's a really nice shirt, and I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars. Moving on to Everton, and again, this is another one that's grown on me now that I've actually seen it in person on the telly and like stuff like that being played in. The colour of the shirt itself actually is kind of nice. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's kind of like a very like buttery kind of colour, I guess. I am a fan of colours, so I do not mind that at all. And the sleeves, I think, work perfectly. The stake badge actually suits the shirt, and I'm glad they've changed the Everton badge to, you know, how it looks now other than the traditional one, because I think it looks so much nicer like this. The back of the shirt, again, is very, very clean. And of course, at the top of the neck, they've got a little towel, which is also on the home shirt. That's a nice little touch. But when we take a look at the details of the shirt here, the material on this shirt is amazing. It looks so nice and comfortable to wear. And the Everton badge, this is exactly what I mean. How good does that look? The way they've changed the colours on it, it looks amazing. And the fact it's printed on suits this shirt perfectly. I would probably buy this shirt and wear it, and I'm going to give it a 4.5 stars just because I'm not too keen on the colour. Moving on to Fulham, and this is absolutely disgusting. I'm sure for Fulham fans themselves, this is, you know, a nice shirt, and I'm sure that, you know, with the old badge it means something, it's nostalgic, but for me as a neutral, it's just not the one. Green football shirts are very hit and miss, and again, I feel like this one's a miss. The collar is okay. The logo I'm not a fan of. Obviously, I know it's a retro Fulham badge and stuff like that, but I don't know, it's not that nice for me. The Adidas logo works and the sponsor works, but even like with the blue separation under the armpit, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. The back of the shirt, again, it's clean, you know, there's nothing on the top of the neck, so not that they're going to lose points there, but they could have added something there. But again, the colour just really isn't nice for me. The badge itself, you know, it has been sewn on, so that's nice. I feel like a printed badge on this would have made it look even worse. And like I said, Fulham fans, to you, it's going to be obviously nostalgic, it's going to mean something, it's going to be nice for you guys, but as a neutral, I'm just not a fan of this shirt. I would 100% not buy this shirt, and I'm probably going to give it a 1.5 stars. Moving on to Leeds United, and again, I feel like they've had kind of a bad time here. They've gone through basically a full blue kind of shirt with stripes, and you know, they've got the Adidas logo, the Leeds logo, and the Red Bull logo all in yellow. The bottom of the sleeves does look nice. I feel like they could have gone the whole way around. If you look at it, you can see they've stopped it. And the collar, I think the collar works. The stripes probably should have been all white again. I know that Leeds are yellow and white, but they could have gone full white there. The back of the shirt looks okay, you know. The stripes is a nice little pattern. On the top of the collar, they've got a little scarf there with something to do with Leeds. That looks nice. But I don't know, I feel like the bottom of the sleeves again could have just gone the whole way around. The badge itself is actually really nice. I'm glad it's been sewn on. It looks really good here. But I'm just not a fan of this shirt again. It's not as bad as some of the other ones. I still wouldn't wear it. I'm not going to go less than 2. I'd probably give it a 2.5 stars. Moving on to Liverpool, and there's just one thing that's stopping this shirt from being perfect. First of all, it's a really nice colour. I think it's much nicer than the home shirt. I like the collar. I like the sleeves. Sponsor and the colours work really well. There's just one thing that's stopping this shirt from being perfect, like I said. Honestly, I think this shirt, if you look at the badge, if it never had the badge around it, it would be perfect. If you look at the back of the shirt, again, it's very, very clean. On the top of the neck, they've got 97, which of course is a tribute. And everything about this shirt is so nice, other than the badge itself. And this is exactly what I mean. First of all, it feels like it's been printed on. The material of the shirt is nice, but the badge has been printed on. I feel like if you got rid of the outer badge and just had the bird and the letters sewn on, this shirt would be 10 out of 10. It is still a very, very nice shirt, but it's just the little things, mainly just the badge, that I'm not a fan of. I wouldn't buy this shirt, I think, just because of the badge. Honestly, I don't like it that much. I am going to give this shirt, though, 4 stars. Moving on to what people are saying is the nicest away shirt of the season with Manchester City. And I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. If you look at the shirt itself, of course, it's all black. I feel like the best blackout shirt we've ever seen is the Dortmund one from a few years ago. So the shirt itself is black, like I said. You've got a very thin white line at the top of the collar, but everything else is kind of like monochrome. It's okay. I mean, the Puma logo and the actual sponsor of the shirt looks nice itself, but the Man City shirt just looks weird to me. The back of the shirt is, of course, black, you know, very clean, very simple. It is a blackout shirt, so there's not much to say here. Overall, I'm not that much of a fan, to be honest. I'm not really a fan of monochrome stuff. I remember when Chelsea done a few things like that on their home shirts a few seasons ago. The best blackout shirt we've ever seen is by far the Dortmund one, like I said, so this one is not that good. I probably wouldn't buy it, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the monochrome stuff, like I keep saying, but I would give it 3 stars out of 5. Moving on to Manchester United, and this is definitely an improvement on last season's one. The collar itself is nice, and of course you've got the black stripes on the shoulders. I feel like they could have done, you know, something similar to that on the bottom of the sleeves and separated it. The badge itself is actually really nice. I'm glad they've moved, you know, from a traditional badge to just the devil on this one. And to be honest, even the sponsor, I said this on the home shirt as well, I feel like we're kind of getting used to that Snapdragon logo now. However, you know exactly what I'm going to say when we look at the back of the shirt here. What is going on? Why have they done this? I hate when football teams do this. It just ruins nice shirts. They've stopped the logo just to go for this kind of white box on the back, and it just looks really bad. Just because of that back of the shirt, it is absolutely ruined. Like, that is genuinely a deal breaker over whether I'd wear the shirt or not. So I'm not going to wear this shirt. And because of that back, it's so bad, I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5. Moving on to Newcastle United, and this is basically just a Saudi Arabia shirt. The collar itself is nice. Again, I feel like they could have implemented that on the bottom of the sleeves and separated the sleeves and, you know, the shoulders are kind of a little bit. Other than that, again, the pattern of the shirt, it just screams Spotify to me. It just looks exactly like the Spotify logo. Everything else on the front of the shirt is white, you know, the Adidas logo, the sponsor, and the Newcastle badge. It looks okay, but yeah, it just screams Saudi Arabia to me and the Spotify logo. The back of the shirt itself, again, they've stopped the pattern. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if I actually prefer it cleaner like this, actually. They do have something at the top of the neck, which is a nice touch, but again, this shirt just, I don't know, I'm not a fan. The material of the shirt itself does look quite nice, and the badge is printed on. I'd like to see actually what a sewn on badge would have looked like on this shirt. But yeah, overall, I don't know, I'm just really not a fan of this shirt. I'm not going to wear it, and I'm going to give it 2.5 stars out of 5. Moving on to Nottingham Forest, and this shirt is beautiful. The pattern on the shirt is amazing. You know, you've got the gold touches, you've got the gold sleeve. The collar works really well, and the sleeves, the bottom especially, look really nice. They could have gone the whole way around again with, you know, the pattern, but that's just nitpicking. The sponsor itself looks really nice, and the badge looks perfect. I'm so glad they haven't gone like a shield around the badge or anything, because this is perfect. However, again, the back of the shirt they have absolutely ruined. They should have kept the pattern going the whole way around, because this just looks boring and simple. If we take a look at the details, it looks beautiful. Just look at that. It's kind of like some, I don't know, some like Greek kind of tapestry kind of stuff. It looks so beautiful, and the badge, the fact that it's been sewn on, is perfect. Like I said, the back of the shirt is a pretty big decider on whether I'd wear the shirt or not, and because it's plain, I'm not going to wear this shirt. The front of the shirt honestly is a 5 out of 5. The back ruins it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Moving on to Sunderland, and it's an alright shirt. There's just a few problems with it. First of all, I would have kept the main body pattern onto the sleeves, and again with the collar it looks really nice, but I would have put that at the bottom of the sleeves as well. They've gone from their traditional badge to kind of like a retro badge on this one, and I think it looks alright, to be fair. It kind of suits the shirt, and of course you've got the Hummel and the sponsor as well. It kind of suits it. It does look good. But then again, on the back of the shirt they've stopped the pattern, and to be honest, the back of the shirt to me just screams Ipswich. They've gone for a little City by the Sea text at the top of the neck, which looks nice, but I don't know, I just feel like the front of the shirt and the back of the shirt are just way too different. The actual front of the shirt, look, if we look at it here, the material looks great. The Sunderland logo is sewn on, which is perfect. It wouldn't look good if it was printed. And other than the back, I don't know. I feel like I said, the front and the back are way too separate. It's like 2 different shirts. I probably wouldn't wear this shirt. I don't know. It's just kind of a hard one to rate. So I'm going to give it 3 stars, bang in the middle. Moving on to Tottenham Hotspur, and this is like everything Villa wanted to be. I know this is a very simple shirt, but this is so much nicer than the Villa one. You've got the checkered boxes, kind of like, it's kind of like a maths book, I guess. Everything looks perfect. The sleeves, the collar, and the grey touches on the shirt. This one looks really nice. On the back of the shirt, again, like I said, it's very much like a math book, like in school, that pattern. It's very clean, very simple. The actual pattern on the shirt, as you can see, it basically says Spurs all over the shirt. And the badge itself, with it being sewn on, is perfect. I would 100% wear this shirt, and I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars. Moving on to West Ham, and it's kind of a similar colour to the Everton shirt, and it looks okay. It is very simple, other than the black kind of logos and stuff. It's a very clean and simple shirt, which is nice. They've gone for a little pattern around the collar, and this is obviously the long sleeve shirt, but if it was short sleeve, it would have the thing on the sleeves as well. The Umbro badge and the sponsor works really well, and the West Ham badge is good, the way they've changed the colours to suit the shirt. The back of the shirt, again, is very simple. You've got the little Irons work logo at the top of the neck, nice little touch there. And the detailing, we can just look on the shirt, it looks really, really nice. The badge has been sewn on, thank God, because if it was printed on, I don't think it would suit this one. I would wear this shirt though, and I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Moving on to the final shirt, and we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, honestly, there's just a few things wrong with this shirt. I do really like it, other than just a few tiny things. First of all, the pattern, as you can see, it's kind of the Wolves logo zooming out, basically. And it looks really nice, apart from just a massive kind of chunk on the side where it's missing. I feel like they should have either just kept the whole shirt blue, or the whole shirt just kind of stripy, and it would have looked so much nicer. And they have also just cut the whole stripes off entirely on the sleeves. It just doesn't look right. The pattern on the collar and the bottom of the sleeves does look nice. So like I said, it's just pros and cons of this shirt. Some things are good, some things aren't so good. The Sudo logo, the sponsor, and the badge do suit the shirt. And this is what I mean when we take a look at the back of the shirt. I feel like if it was just this colour, it would have been a lot nicer, rather than, kind of having stripes on half the shirt and not the other half of the shirt. I know I'm repeating myself, but honestly, if this shirt was either just a solid colour or solid just stripes, it would be so much nicer. But because of the way it is, I would not wear this shirt, and I'm probably going to give it 2.5 stars. So that is every single Premier League away shirt this season. My favourite one has to be either the Arsenal one or the Brentford one. I can't really decide. They are 2 really nice shirts. And my worst one has to be the Brighton shirt. That shirt is just awful. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what is your favourite shirt from this season, and what is your least favourite shirt? If you guys did miss the home shirt video, then there will be a link in the description. Make sure you go check that out if you are interested. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get 500 subscribers before Christmas. We are currently like on 308, so let's see if we can get there. That would be amazing. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you stick around, and I promise you won't regret it.